Okay, I got this young lady. I've named her Shady Lady, sketched on a piece of watercolor paper. And over that, I'm going to add some ink line work. And I hope this is a non-water soluble ink pen so that when I do put my color washes on it, it won't dissolve. But anyway, I can't worry about that. First, I've got to sketch it. So, as you can see, that's what I'm doing. She's got a very intense stare. I'm not sure why, but anyway, very intense stare. Looking over her glasses. That actually makes it even more intense. And I think that's why I chose her as a subject. Okay, you can see I'm doing all this kind of meandering line work. As I'm doing it, it feels like I'm skating. It's fun, and I'm hoping it's going to make the painting exude a lot more intensity, like her stare over those glasses. Now, this is a watercolor painting, so I thought I'd do the smart thing and apply some water on the paper. Yes, and some watercolor paint. That would help. Did I tell you? I was born under the sign of Aquarius. I guess that makes me an aquarium? Oh, no, I think fish are in aquariums. Anyway, I'm doing my level best right now. We'll see where this goes. Who knows? Got to keep that water spritzing. Again, because I'm an aquarium. An aquarian or an aquarium? I'm confused about that. Seem to be doing or spending a lot of time working on her neck. I don't know why, but I got to do what I got to do. Now I'm spending a lot of time on her lips. I wish that'd go faster, but again, you got to do what you got to do. Water, water, water. That's why they call it watercolor painting. And the ink in my pen, thank goodness, was non-water soluble. Yahoo! I think I'm doing okay so far. Onward and upward. Can you figure why I turned her upside down? All the better to paint her hair. And I'm going to do her hair in shades of blue and green. Here I go. This is called No Fear Painting because I have done it 1,000 times before. As an aquarian, what would I do without this water spritzer? I love moving paint around and letting it mix and mingle. Getting some shadowing in the eye sockets. So, in the hair here, the wetter, the better. Sure, why not? More water. My favorite definition of watercoloring is to control the flood. But while you're controlling the flood, you've got to remember to clean up behind it. Just a little more here on Shady Lady. These swiping marks are giving the hair just a little bit more hairy texture. Keep that H2O flowing. Scratching out hair lights in her hair with my thumb. This is, of course, why humans evolve with opposable thumbs. I'm sure of it. I've got some warm color on her left around her mouth, so a little more warm color to balance on her right. More marks on her top and facial features. Slow as you go with facial features. I want to get them just right. I want to capture the look of this lady, but without too much detail, but still I've got to be careful so I can get her facial character. And that's all about the contours on the eyes, the nose, the mouth, everything. I do love painting eyebrows. I don't know why, but I do. My secret weapons. Chalk markers. Chalk markers are filled with gouache, therefore they're watercolor as well, but a lot less transparent and great for color marks and putting strange colors in the eyes of ladies wearing glasses. Same with men too. I love expressive colors, not natural colors. The lady with penetrating pink eyes. Okie doke. Now I use a white chalk marker to get some dramatic highlights in her upper eyelids. Now I'm setting her right eye, getting it a little deeper with some little bit more shadowing, getting it deeper into her eye socket so it doesn't look like the eye's just pasted on the front of her skin, but it's got some depth to it, some drama. Drama is important. Another layer to saturate that pink or those pink areas in her eyes. 2 layers. So now I'll use that same pink marker for the framework in her glasses. Also along with some opera red watercolor paint. A little dark crimson red for those parts of the frame that are not reflecting as much light. Again, drama. By the way, the black and white photograph I'm working from used to be a color photograph, but I like to take all my reference color photographs and turn them into black and white, so I'm not influenced by natural colors. I'll invent my own colors Thank you very much. Check out this cast shadow from the frame of her glasses sitting on her cheek. I really like that. It just adds a little extra, what I like to say, pasta fazool to the painting. My deepest apologies to the Italian language for that. Some more nitpicking, or maybe I should say final touch-ups. A little more meandering line work, just to give it some more visual excitement. Always, always, where the upper lip meets the lower lip, there's a deep, thin channel of dark value shape. Working more in the mouth, just to get all those values in the right spot. Lips are very important, and I want to get this one right on her because she's got that intense expression. Okay, I got it. So, why am I masking out the chin? Interesting, huh? You're about to find out. I am about to stencil, and I don't want any of that stenciling to protrude over her chin, so that's why the masking. Isn't this interesting? I'm using a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, original, that's important, to pull off paint from the openings in the stencil. And you can see what happens. So this is going to give a pattern over her top. It's just going to make the painting a lot more vibrant, interesting, eye candy to the painting. As they say in France, voila! Time to get out more chalk markers. I love chalk markers about as much as I love water. Got about 6 colors here to work with. Here's where it gets interesting. That meandering line where they cross over, I get these little islands that are created with the lines crossing over each other and intersecting. That's where I like to put what I call chalk marker color notes. Kind of gives a little bit of a stained glass effect to the painting. And again, extra eye candy, extra texture to my portrait. So let's see how this goes. Like I said earlier, chalk markers are filled up. They like to call it liquid ink, but it's really gouache, and gouache is watercolor. So I can take a wet brush and move the gouache around. I can make it lighter. I could take it off with a wet brush. It's just like watercolor. Look how well the chalk marker colors integrate into the rest of the watercolor. You wouldn't even know that I used a chalk marker. And they're nice, bright colors. They're handy coming from a pen. You don't have to use a palette. So, love those chalk markers. I am using some really bright, expressive, bodacious colors. Some of these meandering line islands are small, and I fill them up, some of them, with colors from my chalk markers. And some of the islands are large, so I mix small and large islands of color notes. And sometimes you'll see I even do color notes and shapes outside of the meandering line. It just, as I work, my aesthetic sense dictates where I want to go. This color note process can take a little time. You need to be patient, or I need to be patient. And a good way to stay patient is to have some music on, some nice, calming music. It could range from classical music to Cambodian gamelan music. Ever hear that? Check it out on YouTube. It's beautiful. Okay, you've got the idea. I'm going to speed up this process just a little more and bring this portrait to a flaming and wonderful and bodacious, I love that word, bodacious, end. Don't get too dizzy as I spin around my painting to get to where I want to put in color notes. It's a symphony of color notes. I have so much fun doing this. And periodically I'll stop, look at my painting, and decide where to go next. And the painting kind of directs me and lets me know, okay, David, you see at the top, that intersection, that island, go there next. That's how it seems to work for me. Oh, and by limiting the number of colors that I use, I think in this case there's about 5. You can count and either correct me or back me up on that, but I'm only working with a limited amount of colors. Otherwise, if I throw in too many, it gets way too complicated. And by just keeping in a few warm and cool colors, everything in terms of working together, in terms of unity, um, it just it just happens it just happens to work. Check out the blending I can do with a slightly wet brush. It's great. Look at this. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, almost done. Ta-da!